everybody! Hello, hello! Pathway to Us is back at your screen again. By the way, this is Juvaina, your host for today. And today, guys, I have here one of our migration agent and one from our education agent who will be assisting all your concerns regarding migration and student visa. So, guys, are you ready? Okay, let me just, I wanted to introduce with you first our education agent, Jay. So he will be assisting you with all the student visa and also informing you what do we do here with Pathway to Us as an education agent. Thank you so much. I'm giving the floor now to you, Jay.
Thanks so much, JV. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today again, and just thanks for just taking your time and joining us today. So we can. This is Pathway to Us. So I'm sure you've seen us online, and today we will provide you an overview of studying in Australia, including available
Mhm.
course options, the enrollment and visa process, estimated costs, financial requirements, and some of the important changes that affect the student visa application. Our goal really here in our vision is to help students choose a course that's suitable to their education, experience, and career plans and personal circumstances. So you can also find this information on our website. And what we do here is it's very simple. We do the consultation as a first step and try to really strategize what sort of plans or what your goals are. And uh, we assist with your enrollment process up until the visa process at no additional fees. So you're really only going to be paying for the school and your visa fees to immigration, plus, of course, your tickets, your biometrics, and medical. So everything is going to be transparent from step one. There is no point in time where you're not going to know what steps we are in, and the application can take a bit of time. So we normally recommend starting the application at least. Personally, I would recommend like 5 to 6 months prior to the intake, just so we can allow time for your application to process. Normally, the enrollment takes around 1 month. This depends on how fast we can provide your documents, how fast the schools provide their feedback, and the visa process can also take at least a month. This involves around lots of steps that really require us to provide a strong visa application that makes sense for your background. And Pathway to Oz, we are partnered with hundreds of institutions onshore. So I don't think you're going to run out of options here, but your main priority is really just course alignment or career alignment. So we have to really build from your foundation. For example, you're a nursing graduate and you obviously your work experience as a nurse. You want to build through that. So you can look at course options, potentially a master's of nursing, potentially public health, potentially aged care. It all depends on our goals and circumstances.
True, true. Thank you so much for that, Jay. And is there any chance you can share with them the benefit of studying here in Australia?
Of course, yeah. So Australia obviously continues to be a popular destination for international students just because it's a multicultural environment. There's practical approach to education, and uh, there's really a potential. The biggest factor here is there's a potential future pathway, but this will really depend on the graduate's qualification, occupation, the age, English ability, work experience, and skills assessment, and the migration rules at the time in effect, which Grant will discuss on the call here. And education, therefore, should remain the main priority because if you're gonna enter Australia through a student visa, we really want to showcase to immigration that you are a genuine student and that your intent is to get a course that's truly going to benefit your return back in your home country. That's really the true test. And that's what we're going to focus on. And that's what we want to specialize on your visa. Like the priority is really crafting your visa application the strongest possible way to get an entry to Australia so you can maximize your later opportunities at the time when you're done studying.
True, true, true. Yes, guys, because me here is also a product of Pathway to Oz. So I studied here in Australia as well, guys, and I can guarantee you that what I like about Australia is that you can study and have your work-life balance. So when you're studying, you also work and everything, so you can enjoy the life of being here in Australia. And by the way, Jay, can you share about the student life and opportunities that you might share with the viewers right now?
Yeah, well, I used to live in, I studied, I lived and worked in Australia, so I have a very high knowledge of, I would say, the cultural aspect and the courses. So there's really a lot to, it's a big playground, of course. There's work-life
Mm.
balance, like JV said, and the real benefit is really just the whole experience of being a student here. Uh, you really get to learn a lot just from the multicultural environment.
Mm.
And traveling is really one of the main aspects of education. You know, they don't really teach this in school. When you travel, you get to learn about a new culture. You get to be a stranger in a different country, which in turn provides a different kind of perspective. And obviously, what you want to do here is be a genuine student. Because if you're a genuine student, then that just leads to better work opportunities in the future. It's going to carry on. What else do you guys want to know, JV?
Yeah, so I have you managed to advise to them regarding the student visa process already, so they are now aware. By the way, Jay, I prepare three questions for you. It's common with student visa, so this is a common
Yeah.
questions that some students out there wanted to know before they start the student visa. And I wanted to flash to number one. Can you bring dependent with your student visa?
Yes, you can, depending on the circumstances. So the thing about bringing a dependent is it increases the chances of immigration scrutinizing your application because they've been really strict about this. But yeah, I mean, it's really not a problem as long as it fits the criteria and your personal circumstances. So yeah, you can bring your dependents. Just be aware that the cost might increase, especially with insurance. Normally, if you're a single applicant studying a 2-year program, it's around 1500 AUD. But if you bring, let's say, a family of two, it's gonna jump up to around 12 to 13K AUD, if I'm not mistaken. So it jumps higher even if you're a family of three because of the child costs. If you're a family of four, it jumps even higher. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be transparent here, of course, and you pay directly to the choice provider anyway. Yeah, you can bring a dependent because it's not really a big deal.
True, true, true. Thank you so much for answering my first question, Jay. So now we proceed with question number two. How much is the show money needed for student visa application for those countries who needed a show money?
Okay, so normally if you go to immigration's website, they would want to see you present living costs, which is 29,710 plus your travel costs. If you're offshore, it's 2K by default. And then you add on top the first year tuition fee. So if we're looking, say for example, a vocational course for 2 years, they're normally around 15,000 AUD. So you add that on top, you would approximately need around 45,000 AUD to show. And if it's higher education, it's normally around 30,000 per year. So that's going to jump up to around 60,000 AUD. And this can be evidenced, via cumulative bank statements. As long as it's family, we can prove the relationship. That's what immigration wants to see. That you have genuine access to the funds, and the if you have sponsors, then they should be your family. You should have a genuine relationship with them. So normally, parents are the most logical sponsors we can use.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Jay. By the way, to our viewers, stay in our live because later, guys, we will be having a game. So, like the one who will win will have a chance to win a free migration consultation. If I were you guys, please share our live with your families and friends so they will have an idea about studying and migrating here in Australia. And maybe you might win later, guys. You know what? The consultation fee here in Pathway to Us for migration is $220. See, if you just keep on watching us, and then sharing this with your families and friends, you might get a chance to win a free consultation with Grant after. So just stay there, okay? And by the way, guys, here with Pathway to Us, we don't, I just wanted to clarify, okay? Because a lot of people is asking us that regarding sponsorship and employment. Apologies, guys, but Pathway to Us is not a recruitment agency. We don't provide sponsorship and employment. So we are focused on the visa itself. So if you manage to find an employer who wanted to sponsor you and things like that, you can book a consultation with us. Okay, so our migration agent will assist you to check your qualification, to check your sponsor and everything like that. So feel free to jump on our website, pathwaytous.com, if you want to book a consult with our migration agents. All right, hope I clarify those things. You're so lucky, guys, because this type of events, we always do this type of events. So you will be aware what are, what are the process, and you will have an idea how to migrate here in Australia. And I always have our migration and our education. So like when you have something in mind and you can check if you're eligible and everything, so you can plan your future. Okay, so please stay there and watch us and share it to your families and friends. All right. Thank you so much, Jay. I've managed to finish all your. You managed to answer all the questions I prepared for you. Thank you
My
so much
pleasure.
there. If and later, guys, feel free to comment down all your concerns. Okay. So our team will be assisting that after. And now, guys, I'm so excited because we are now proceeding to our migration. So my lovely colleague Grant here will be assisting you with migration. Thank you so much. Giving you the floor.
Oh, well, look, thank you very much, JV, and good afternoon to all of our viewers today. Well, good afternoon from Australia. Thank you for making your time available, and I very much look forward to your questions as we go through. As JV has said, my name's Grant Colburn. I'm the Senior Registered Migration Agent here at Pathway to Oz, and our really my contribution today, Jay. Will speak superbly about all of the student visa requirements. Mine is more so that step beyond that, which is to build your pathway into permanent residency in Australia, be that through skilled migration or employer-sponsored options. That's what I'm here to help with, and I look forward to the questions that come from the floor later today. And most importantly, again, thank you very much for attending today. It's a very vital information session for everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, Grant, for introducing yourself. And I wanted you to share the benefits of working here in Australia with our viewers.
Sure. So look, Australia, I mean, at the end of the day, Australia is a country of law, and one of the key laws is around things like minimum salary rates, which in Australia is very, very high. Everyone who's a full-time worker in Australia is paid at a very, very strong wage. The minimum salary in Australia now is over $1,000 a week for the first time in history. So it's very high income country, very professional, excellent infrastructure in Australia. I mean, I know that Jay has also lived in Australia, as well as JB. Your hospitals, your roads, your airports, all exceptional standard. Education, all at an exceptional standard in Australia. So that's the reality of the life here. And JB mentioned earlier about work-life balance. Well, a lot of that comes from the fact that you've got such exceptional facilities to that are available to you to enjoy. Your transport takes you anywhere you wish to go. There's many free community options available. I mean, I live on the Gold Coast. We've got stunning beaches and parklands everywhere you look. So It really is a beautiful place, and that balance between work and life is so very important to us all.
Right, all right. Thank you so much for sharing that, Grant. And you managed to answer the questions. I mean, like I prepared for the three, but that's so cool because now I want to proceed with the the question related to migration that I prepare. So let's proceed with question number one. Is there an occupation where you don't need skill assessment for sponsorship?
Yes, there's many. So if you're talking about employer sponsorship, so for the visa subclass 482, the vast majority of occupations can be sponsored for the 482 visa without a skills assessment. Okay, so those that have a mandatory skills assessment mainly are trade type of occupations. So your carpenters, your plumbers, your tilers, painters, things like that, they have a mandatory skills assessment. But the majority of occupations do not need a skills assessment for employer sponsorship under the subclass 482. All you need to demonstrate is that you're appropriately skilled and have at least 1 year of full-time work experience.
All right, thank you for answering that question, Love. And now we proceed with question number two. Actually, I wanted you to answer it so we can assist with the questions later. Feel free to comment down below, guys, all the questions you wanted to ask so you will have an idea as well with your with your cases. So feel free to comment down below, okay? And now we proceed with question number two. If I'm currently in my 491 visa, can I work anywhere?
Look, the answer is no. And let me expand on that. So the subclass 491 visa is a regional sponsored visa. So the reason that it's granted to you is because your occupation is in a regional in demand list. So the intention of the 491 visa is that you will live and work in that designated regional area of Australia. So the reason that it's really important that you understand that is because that is what will then get you to the permanent visa, which is the subclass 191 visa. So you have to live and work in that designated regional area whilst you are on your 491 visa.
Wow, wow, wow. I think I heard, a story about that before, like when, you know. And now, Love, this is my third question. Okay. So this is not a question, actually. I just wanted you to share with them regarding the difference of 482 versus 186, because there's a lot of people now, I think it's circulating online, that the 482 visas and everything like that, so I wanted you to explain the difference of these two, to share it with them. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
sure. So let me first by saying what do they have in common? They're both employer sponsored visas. Okay, 482 and 186 are both employer sponsored. The 482 is a temporary visa. The 186 is a permanent visa, but they're both employer sponsored. So typically, what would happen? Most most clients that we speak to initially will be sponsored for the 482 visa. Okay, um, temporary employer sponsored, and they have to have an occupation that's in demand. There's various criteria around the salary that they have to be paid and the skills that they have to have. But for many of our clients, they'll be on a 482 visa for at least 2 years, and then they transition to the permanent visa, the 186. It's called the transition stream. So you're transitioning from a temporary employer sponsored to a permanent employer sponsored. Again, that permanent component, the 186, has to be employer sponsored. So you have to be in an occupation in demand. And again, there's various criteria around age, skill set, and things like that. So that's called the transition stream. There is also the ability for a person to apply directly for the permanent 186 visa, and that is called the direct entry stream. The criteria is very different, very, very different, because for a direct entry application, you have to have a skills assessment that is mandatory. You have to have at least 3 years of full-time work experience in your occupation in command. And again, there's criteria around age, qualifications, salary, things such as that. So most people will have the 482 visa and then transition into the permanent 186. But it is possible for some people, if they're eligible, to apply directly for the permanent 186 visa.
Wow. So yeah, thank you so much, Grant, for explaining those type of sponsorship visa. So guys, hope you managed to get anything from that advice of Grant regarding 42 versus 186, because a lot of you guys are after 42 and 186 currently, because a lot of circulating online about the, what is it again, love? Ministerial, how is it? Ministerial.
Yeah, the ministerial direction, and I'm happy to talk to that later, because the ministerial direction, in short, what it is the Minister for Home Affairs setting what the priorities of government are in terms of occupation categories for Australia. So I'm happy to talk further to that later.
Yeah, true, true, true. Guys, you don't need to worry because Grant will also post about it. We will be posting about the ministerial direction 119. So watch our YouTube, guys. Please follow our social medias page, TikTok, and YouTube, LinkedIn. Please follow us there because you will know a lot of news and the changes and everything. So please follow us. By the way, guys, I just wanted to share with you as well that if there is Brazilian watching us out there, we also have our pathway to us Brazil. So if you're Brazilian and it's hard for you to speak in English, we have our Brazil account. So if you want, follow us as well there. And we also do some events with our Brazilian account. All right. Okay, thank you so much, guys. You managed to answer all the questions that I prepared for you. And to those watching out there, please make sure to comment all your concerns. Don't be shy, because this is your chance to have an idea with your cases. And we will be having our game that you can win a free consultation, free migration consultation. Okay, and before that, we will be playing a video about Pathway to Us, and after that, we will be doing the game. Okay, take note of it. Those watcher, comment down all your concerns while we are playing that video, so you know who is Pathway to Us and what is our job or what we do here in Pathway to Us. Okay, Marian, please showcase our video. Thank you so much.
Pathway to Oz. Pathway to Oz is a migration and education agency. Set up in 2013, our head office is on the Gold Coast, Australia. However, we have staff located in 7 countries all over the world. We assist clients to lodge over 2,000 different types of visa applications every year. And since beginning, we have actually assisted clients from 118 different countries. We have experienced registered migration agents and lawyers capable of assisting clients in all types of visa applications. This includes employer sponsorship, student, general skilled migration, ART appeals, just to name a few. We have some of the most knowledgeable and experienced education agents in Australia who specialise in those who don't have a path to PR in enrolling them in a course to increase their skills and education in an occupation in Australia, thus potentially creating a permanent residency pathway. After studying, our migration agents provide advice and clarity on which pathway these clients should take should they want to progress to permanent residency in Australia. You can visit us in person at our offices. However, the majority of our work is done online, where we conduct consultations, collect relevant documentation, submit applications and enrolments, and liaise directly with immigration. If you are looking for an experienced and honest migration agency, I sincerely hope you consider Pathway to Oz.
Way to us now. So we are an education and migration agency located here in Gold Coast, Australia. All right, guys, are you ready with our game? Please comment down below your nationality so we can, shout out. And I wanted to say hi to our viewers. We have Abdul, Eze, Travel Tube, who are this? Onelua Anna. Hi guys. Thank you so much for watching us today. We also have Emosi, Ted Farderma, and a lot of more. Thank you so much guys for having us today. And now we will be proceeding with our game. Okay, so this is the criteria. In order for you to win a free migration consult with Pathway to Oz, make sure to put the PTA plus the answer. Okay, don't forget to put the PTA, because if you comment down and you just answer with just the answer without the PTA plus the answer, then your answer won't be accepted. Even though if you're the first commenter or something, you won't win the free consultation if you don't put the PTA. Okay, hope you're taking note of what I'm saying, because in 3, 2, 1 we will be posting the question. I will count, okay? I will count, and then the winner will be the first commenter. So this is a keyboard game with you guys. All right? And now, Marian, are you ready? So I will count in 3, 2, 1, and then you play with the question. All right? And now in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is the question. Who won the FIFA World Cup 2026? I don't know, FIFA or FIFA. Yeah, so that's the question, guys. I'm checking in our question. Wow, we have a lot of Filipino viewers out there currently. Hi, Jim. Hi, guys. Hi, AR, Abrar. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for having us here today. And I think we have a winner so fast. Thank you so much. And now I wanted to show his answer. Yes, guys. So our winner is Ted Farderma 9045. Okay, thank you. Do a screenshot, Ted Farda. Send us an email. My email is juvaina@pathwaytos.com. I'm going to do a screenshot as well to make sure. Okay, I'm going to do a screenshot. Here you go. And congratulations. Can we have a clap there, Marian? Thank you so much. Sorry, guys, for those. Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. What's the name of this? Anula, Krishna. Thank you so much for joining the event. And we have our winner. Unfortunately, we only have one winner for today. And guys, feel free to comment down below all your concerns now, because we are going to proceed with our Q&A session. Okay, so with this Q&A session, guys, we make way, for example, studying to PR pathway, especially those who are working in skilled right now. Feel free to comment down below what do you study right now, what you do, and everything. So our education agent and our migration agent can give you a little bit of advice, and you can have your strategy as well. And then after that, if you think that you need a consultation with us, feel free to book a consult. Education is free consultation, while migration consult is paid consult, because you're talking with a lawyer. It's a professional advice coming from them, and they will be analyzing your case. So that's $220 for 45 minutes. Okay, now feel free to comment down below all your concern, guys, so we can proceed with the question and answer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining and watching us today. Okay, I have a first question from, he's from Pakistan and his name is Abdul. Okay, I think this is our top one viewer. Every time we do an event, I can see his name, to be honest. So this is his question. He's from Pakistan, a software engineer. How's this? Graduated software engineer, occupation is project manager, software industry. And what is the best route for me? Can I get into any trade course? I think this is a
I,
mix. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, mhm.
I'll take the first one. Paul.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's good. That's good.
All right, Abdul. So I note you probably have a bachelor's as well. I'm not sure about your age, but if you're 26 and above and you have like an established career already with like software engineering or being a project manager, you kind of don't want to look at the trades anymore just because there's a big question we want to answer or defend to immigration, which is why you want to leave a high paying career already when for a trade course. Do you know what I mean? Like that's where the risk comes in. So essentially, what you want to do to really satisfy the genuine student requirement is you really want to build from your foundation the most dominant aspect of your profile. Say, for example, you're a project manager, but you still hold a bachelor's in like software engineering. Perhaps you could do a nonlinear master's, say like cybersecurity, business analytics, pretty much, just as long as you upskill, this is what immigration likes to see than downgrading. Just because it's really hard to defend this question because you're the impression to the government is you're leaving a well-paid career ready for something that's not really aligned. So if you're gonna do that, it's your application is really gonna come with a big risk, and we don't really recommend doing that because it's very expensive for the application fee now. It's 2,500 for the whole world, aside from Southeast Asia. So with us, we really focus on the visa outcomes, not just with enrollments. So that's really the strength we have with Pathway to Oz. And not only you're gonna get assisted on the education side, but Grant here, our senior migration agent, will also, and several of our other team members as well, which are registered migration lawyers and agents, will also help you on the next step upon completion of the course and the 485 visas or any other potential visas for that matter. But I guess that answers the education side. I'm going to pass it over to Grant for now. Thank you, Grant.
Yeah, thanks, Jay. And perfect advice, by the way, with regards to the student visa. Again, I completely agree with you. Mr. Abdul, basically, in a situation like this, what we would be looking at if we were doing this as, say, a consultation is we'd be looking at all of the aspects of your application and what sort of points attribution you could get. Whilst I understand that you're a software engineer and as a graduate as a software engineer and working as a project manager, what we need to look at is what the actual qualification is that you've been issued, how many years of work experience you have, your age, your English language ability, because these are all factors that come into the points test for general skilled migration. Okay, so it's not just occupation when we're talking about skilled migration. All of those various point scoring attributes have to be considered and have to be calculated so that we can give advice as to what visa options you have moving forward. Your occupation is certainly one that's on the skills and demand list, so it is certainly available for general skilled migration. It is also available for employer sponsored, so long as you meet the eligibility criteria.
Okay, thank you so much, team, for answering that with the student and I mean with the education and migration, together with you guys. Thank you so much for assisting that question. Guys, feel free to comment down below all your concerns so you can have the advice from our education and migration. At the same time, you're so lucky, guys, because you have them answering your question and you can, prep for your future if you want to study and migrate in Australia. By the way, I'm Jay. We handle Fiji, right? Like you handle Fiji?
Yes,
Yes. We have a comment asking
we love
here
you guys.
that yes, we have agent from, I mean, they were asking agent from Fiji, but you don't need to worry, guys, because we assist all nationalities,
Pacific
okay?
Islanders, yep, global.
True.
Yeah.
Feel free to email him. His email is, I mean, what do you call it?
I
On
think
top
it's
of,
ready here.
yeah, true. It's in there. So feel free to email Jay if you want, if you're asking for the person who's handling Fiji. Okay, guys. And I would like to check some comments again. And I think this is about currently on a bridging visa for a graduate visa. Employers willing to sponsor. How should I start? And this is our question number 2 from Ted Farda. Farder? It's so hard to pronounce. I mean, currently on a bridging visa for a graduate visa. Once on graduate visa, my employer is willing to sponsor. How soon should I start the process or apply for skilled visa instead? I'm a diesel mechanic. So I think this should be go to Glenda.
Yes, yeah, look, definitely. Ted, thank you for your question. The what I mentioned earlier when I spoke about the 482 visa, the typical employer sponsored route, what the key is here is that after you've finished your qualification, you have to have at least 1 year of full-time work experience to then be sponsored for the 482 visa. So to answer your question about how soon should you start the process, well, you have to work 1 year full time to be eligible. That's when you can start. You can't start prior to that, or otherwise you run the real risk of the application being refused. So to directly answer your question, 1 year full-time work experience, then we can move into application for you. Now, it is possible for your sponsor to start a little bit earlier than that in terms of getting the sponsorship and nomination components together, and your visa application would then follow. But you have to have 1 year full-time work experience to be eligible for 482.
Nice. Thank you so much, Grant, for answering that question. Thank you. Thank you. Hope it clarifies your concern, Ted Fard. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but let's say at Ted Fard. Thank you. And now, guys, we proceed with another question. I have a question from Travel Tuber 6548. Thank you so much for having us today, Travel, and thank you for watching us. Feel free to share this live to your families and friends. And this is the question. I'm a hotel management degree holder. Also, I have experience in different occupations. So can I start with you my skill courses? This
Yeah,
is quite.
I can get that.
Everything's
Yeah, I
taken.
think he wants to study. Yeah, so to
Yeah.
answer the question here, travel. Yeah, we know you have a hotel management degree and experience in different occupations, but my next question would be what sort of occupations
Hmm.
do you have experience with? Because that's what we're going to use to bridge that explanation to immigration if you do the student visa. So for example, you're a hospitality holder degree and your experience is with, say, construction. Just an example. Um, and that's it. Let's say your construction experience is more than what you've really done in the hospitality sector, and you're under 26 or 25. At that point, we could probably potentially look at the carpentry program or any construction courses, just so we can, because from that perspective, we can bridge that explanation to immigration and potentially craft a strong, genuine statement to get the strongest prospects of a grant. And if you do that, I think Grant explained earlier that trade options are really strong pathways. We'll simply go through a program called Job Ready Program, which involves 2 year study of a trade program. Go on a 485 visa, you see us with that. You're going to come back to pathway laws. And on the 485 visa, obviously, if you study industry, carpentry, you want to do a job ready program, which simply means that you have to work full time for at least 1 year. So TRA and MetaSys will give you your positive skill assessment potentially, and that's your ticket to applying for your general skilled migration EOIs. So it's like saying to them that you have your skill assessment already. This is your age. This is your English ability. If you don't hold a UK passport or any like US, which are exempt from English, you kind of want to be aiming for superior English just so you get extra points. And if you really want to maximize, as Grant mentioned, that everything is points tested, especially for GSM or general skilled migration, you really want to look at regional areas. You want to be living, studying, and working in a regional area because you get that extra 5 points. And if you just see all the invitation rounds, it's available on immigration's website. The construction workers really get invited at the lowest points possible. So yeah, the demand is there. The data shows you just want to position. Our priority is position you the best way possible to enter Australia with that certain trade, so you have the maximized opportunities later. That's really the goal. Yeah.
True. Thank you so much. Yeah. Now I remember the interview I did with one of our grantee yesterday. It's her wife. So the wife, we have the grantee. She's his electrician, and the wife is an accountant. Imagine she's a licensed accountant. She has the 100%. What is it again? Grant like 100 plus points, is it
Yeah.
100 plus points? Because I did an interview and she's a Filipina. Both of them are Filipinos. And then the other one, the husband is an electrician and he has 65 points. Imagine the wife never been invited with the 100 points, because it's so funny because like the husband is electrician under housing trade, 65 points, and they managed to get their 190 visa with the electrician. He's working as electrician in electric, and he studied. So we will be posting that case study soon with our TikTok as well, guys. TikTok, our page, you will see that case study, so you can check their experience. I mean, their story, and you can base your, your cases with them as
KP,
well.
do you mind if I just quickly jump in there?
Hmm.
Because I think what this viewer has asked and what Jay has explained and also what yourself has explained is very, very important in the context of an announcement that was made last week by the minister, which was his ministerial direction 119, where he has set what the priorities are of government moving forward in skilled migration and also employer sponsored. So with this question that's been asked, and indeed with the answer that Jay has given around if somebody is open to studying any particular course, well, what the minister has identified is that their priorities in government are law enforcement and defence capability, followed by three critical sectors: construction, healthcare, and teaching. So if somebody is open to the concept of studying in Australia and using that as a pathway to move forward, those three critical sectors now have a higher priority than all other sectors. So I'll say them again: construction, healthcare, and teaching.
Thank you so much, team. You're so good at it, guys. Thank you so much for sharing this with our viewers out there. And now we proceed with question number. Hold on. This question from Christian Melinda. I think he's a Filipino. I am an aged care support worker, working full time, 1 year plus, also having a certificate 3 in light vehicle mechanical technology. No experience. What pathway is best for me?
I could
I'm
answer
going
the
to
yeah.
answer this.
Go ahead, Grant. Sorry.
I'll just quickly jump in from a visa perspective,
Yeah.
and then I'll hand over to Jay. Trisha, This is a wonderful question because it highlights an issue that we see quite often when people come to us for consultation. And that issue is when qualifications and work experience are not aligned. Okay. So when I mentioned earlier about the 482 visa as a classic example here, that you're suitably skilled and you have 1 year of work experience, it has to be aligned. And when we're talking about skilled migration, for example, if you've got a qualification in light mechanical technology, but no work experience in it, then you don't earn points for work experience. Similarly, the other way around, if you've got work experience in aged care, but not a qualification in aged care, well, then you can't get the qualification points. So the strongest candidate is where you have qualification and work experience that are in the same field, okay, that are aligned. That is what makes you skilled. And when it comes to the point of skills assessment, for example, that is what the skills assessment authorities are looking for. And certainly when it comes to points, if you're looking at a general skill migration path, that is fundamentally important, that your qualifications and experience are in the same field. Okay. I'll hand over to Jay because I know what he's going to talk about and it's spot on, very important.
Yeah. So thanks, Grant. Firstly, I'm not really sure what visa you're on. But you mentioned you're working full time, so I'm gonna presume you're on a 485 already, or the issue here is I think Grant can discuss with you the DAMA labor agreements, or the labor agreements that the potential pathway for aged care can give you. But just as he mentioned, when you don't have the qualifications, the formal qualifications, it really just doesn't uh, help the application in an optimal manner. So if you're on a 485 though, the question you want to ask yourself now is which field are you happy with? Do you want to stick with aged care, or do you want to do a Cert 3, or maybe do a further study qualification to build from your Cert 3 in light vehicle mechanical technology? The issue here is if you're coming from a 485, and usually if you finish the vocational program, it's only 18 months. So you can't really, if your 485 doesn't have the right duration anymore to cover the new courses, then it's not really a good look, and you might have to lodge from offshore. So your best pathway would really, I think Grant can touch on this, but I think your best pathway would be, if you want to be happy with aged care, then you do the aged care qualifications and lodge the visa from offshore, another student visa, or build from your existing Cert 3 light vehicle technology qualification. So it's really about a question you want to ask yourself: which point in time, which field do you want to be in the next several years?
Wow, thank you so much, guys. That's a wonderful answer. I mean, you really are like very good in explaining because, guys, you're so lucky, you know. When I was like when I started my student visa, we don't have this type of event. So now you're having the ideas through online as well with Pathway to Us with our multi-streaming. Okay, thank you so much, guys. And I wanted us to proceed with this question. Actually, this is just, I wanted us to talk about the architect course and then the pathway of being an architect in Australia. So something like that, I think. Yes. So, listen to this. Okay. Student visa first as an architect.
Yeah. Okay. So how's it going, man? RG.
RG.
Okay. If you're an architect, I would assume you're already a licensed architect from your country. And again, as we've mentioned earlier, right? Like what immigration wants to see is you upskilling. For example, if you have like 5 years plus experience already, or 3 years plus, you're a licensed architect, and you've never really uh, uh, detoured from your qualification or your work experience, then the next logical step is you do a master's in architecture with an accredited university. Because I think potentially if you do an accredited uni, finish a master's in Archi from an accredited uni, then when you graduate, you can register. It's like Engineers Australia. So you're already a qualified architect if you study in an accredited uni. That's what you want to prioritize. And if you are 30 plus, or your goal is really to study 2 years and then get the graduate visa or the post higher education registry, provided you're not 36 at the time of your 485 application. And I think immigration also launched a new article about getting an extension for the 485 if you finish the master's in a regional area and if you live and studied and stayed there. I think I'll give you the link, JV, so you can link it on the chat. But that's really something important to know. It just shows how the government really directs immigrants or international students to the designated regional areas, just because there's the workforce. You guys need the workforce. There's a demand, and there's a lot of benefit to it. So I think that's what you really want to prioritize. Course alignment is number one, of course. Number two is regional areas. And number three is go with Pathway to Oz because we really assist here
So
soundly.
one stop shop.
Yes.
They're
And
one stop shop.
I'll pass the floor to Grant. He's going to discuss this more in detail, your pathway and the next steps. Thank you.
Okay, Grant.
Yeah, look, thank you, and thank you for the question. I'm going to talk about this from if you were looking at immediately launching into a skilled migration application. So, as I mentioned earlier, we'd have to assess your eligibility first and foremost. We'd have to see your age, your English language ability, your qualifications, your experience, and um, look at what you can accrue from a points perspective. There was an example that JB gave earlier about an accountant and how they are a high point scoring occupation for the purposes of invitation. Architecture is very similar. If you look at the data from the last invitation round, architects were invited at 85 points. So it's a very high point score. And this is where certain strategies like what Jay has explained about looking at further study in Australia, 10 points there, regional location, another 5 points there, leading in the state nomination, another 5 points there. These are some of the strategies that could be the difference between being successful or unsuccessful in a skilled migration application. So that's what we would be looking at with you or indeed with anyone from a strategy perspective is how do we align you and your characteristics with the outcome that you seek, which is migrating to Australia. So in short, a lot of information we need to know exactly where you currently sit, but then we've got the beauty of being able to talk to people like Jay from an education perspective, or if we can jump straight into a skilled migration process, then we can do that as well.
Nice. Hope you have like a clarification. ARRG. He said he's Filipino. Yeah. So you're. I mean, I think he really is a licensed architect in the Philippines too. And yes, thank you so much, AR, for putting this question of yours. So we hope we managed to clarify something and you get an idea. By the way, guys, someone is saying thank you so much to you guys for sharing these knowledges to them. And now we proceed with this question. Oh, they say now the name. Hi, Grant. For Visa 186 TRT Dama, is the main applicant and secondary applicant dependent still needs to do English test as requirement? Thanks.
Yeah, look, thank you. We obviously I didn't speak specifically about Dharma agreements earlier in my presentation because it's a whole new realm. Dharma, just for the information of everyone, Dharma is an acronym stands for Designated Area Migration Agreement. It's a negotiated labour agreement between the Department of Home Affairs and a designated area. Now that could be a Chamber of Commerce or a state government body or a local government body that's negotiating, and they'll negotiate concessions on key criteria such as age, English, qualifications, salary. Every Dharma is different, and I have to stress that. Every Dharma is different because they're negotiated separately. For the specific question that's being asked here, typically with a 186 visa, yes, there is an English language requirement, both primary and secondary applicants. Secondary applicant at least has to demonstrate functional levels of English. Some Dharma agreements may have negotiated benchmark on English language requirement. But like I said, every Dharma is different. You can't generically answer this question. I'd need to know exactly which Dharma location we're talking about here and then review that specific labour agreement to say what has been negotiated in terms of an English language requirement. There'll definitely still be a benchmark in some way, but it's a question of what has been negotiated to.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Guys, we only have 4 minutes remaining, and we still have a lot of questions in our comments section. But unfortunately, guys, we cannot answer all of them. So we will try. I will just try to pick one last question that I think is appropriate, or you can answer both of you guys, and then you don't need to worry, guys. You don't need to those viewers out there, you don't need to worry because we have this continuous event with Pathway to Us. So we always get engaged with you guys. You know what's happening with Pathway to Us. So please make sure to follow and share follow our social medias so that you will be notified with the next events. And for student visa, we have a coming webinar this August, and there's a lot of promotions coming up. So please join our webinar, guys, where you can see all of our educational agents. And after that, you will be in touch with them after. So feel free to jump on our website, go to the upper right corner. You can see the book a consult if you want to book a consult with a migration agent. And if you want to book a consult with the education agent, you can also see them there. And with the event like webinar, so you will know the process, the cost and expenses, the documents and everything. Feel free to get your ticket. It's a free webinar, guys. Okay, and the events with the Pathway to Us is continuous. It's every week. We have in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All right, and now I'm proceeding with the last question, guys. Okay, I think this one is our last question. Hello, if I got invited offshore, is it good idea or legal to travel in Australia as tourist and lodge the visa 189 or 190 in Australia since they are prioritizing onshore? Okay, Grant, I think this is for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jay, I'll take this one. Look,
Okay.
Jim, thank you for the question. Is it a good idea? What I would say to every single person that I have a consult with, if they ask me, is it a good idea? I always say, only you can answer if it's a good idea, because only you know your full set of circumstances. The question that I can answer is around the legality of it. Yes, it is most definitely possible that you can enter Australia on a tourist visa and lodge the subclass 189 or 190 if you've been invited. What I'm going to say, though, is the big word, however, because the however is really going to come down to if there's any conditions that are attached to your tourist visa, such as the no further stay condition, as a classic example. Because if that is there, that would prohibit the lodgement of a 189 or 190 onshore. The other thing that you would have to take into consideration is a tourist visa, for example, has a no work condition. So if you were to come to Australia to lodge your 189 or 190, you're going to have a no work condition whilst in Australia. So again, I come back to this part of, is it a good idea? Well, you're going to have to weigh up your own circumstances based on what I've just told you as to if it's in your best interest to be in Australia with no work and possibly in a situation where if you have a no further stay condition attached to your visitor visa, you simply wouldn't be able to lodge the application anyway. So I think that the easiest summary is we should talk about this and build the correct strategy as to what suits you. Let me understand what your occupation is, where it sits in a priority perspective, and then we'd advise on what we would recommend to you as a lodging strategy.
Yay! Thank you so much, guys. We finished all the questions. I mean, we didn't manage to finish all the questions because there's a lot, and someone is telling us to do more of this type of live session because it's very informative and educational. Yes, you don't need to worry, Onelia or Anna, because we have continuous events. So those viewers, please follow us here in our social media so you will be notified with our upcoming events. Guys, any more that you wanted to tell our viewers out there before we take off? Anyone from you guys?
Thanks
Education first?
for coming to the webinar. And please book a consult. Just contact the team, and we'll start from there pretty much. And yeah, you'll be assisted every step of the way anyway.
True.
You should check
We
our
are your
reviews
one-stop
as well.
shop. Mm-mm. True. Anything you want to say, Grant, before we sign off?
No, look, I'd echo what Jay said. I thank everyone out there today for their time, and I do hope it's been a worthwhile session for you. I think what I touched on earlier about the ministerial intervention was just an example of what I always say, and that's that things change. They change rapidly. Sometimes they change without notice. We really need to speak to someone professional and someone
Yes.
experienced in this space to make sure that you're on the right path. So please feel free to reach out, make the consultation booking, make sure that you're on the right path forward.
Yay! Thank you so much. Can we have a clap, Marian? Yay!